Anigna, can you hear me? Hello, Anigna. Unmute your audio. It seems it is muted. Unmute your audio. Yeah, Sonia is connecting now. Sonia, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sonia. Anigna, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Fine, fine. So come back. Who are there? Danya has logged in now. Danya, unmute. Unmute your audio somebody. Yeah, right. 3 are there. Yeah, Chaitra seems to have come back now. You are there, Chaitra? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Ah.
Yes, sir.
Four are there. Let's wait. It's 102. Let's wait for 1 more minute. Then yeah, slide your monitor to your right. Must be okay. But seems very unstable. Are you keeping this in a moving object or what?
I'm using my phone, sir, not my.
Oh, fine. You don't have the laptop, right? Who are what about others? They have gone for lunch or what? This is my third session today. I had one class for finance also from 11 to 11:30, and now back to back 2 classes for it. Okay, 103. Pooja Gowda has come now. Pooja, you are back. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you trying to hit the monitor or what? Aishwarya has come now. Then
Rachana.
Rachana has come. Rachana, unmute the video. Right.
Yes, sir.
So 7 are there. Twenty-three. Who is 23? 8 are there. Pooja has come now. Pooja has seen. 8. Shall we start? It's already 104.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Always shaking has gone to his farm, back to his farm. There. Okay then. Let me start sharing the screen. We start from where we had left in the earlier session. So note that it is being recorded. The session is being recorded. Yeah, the slide is on your screen. This is where we had stopped. We had started with the first theory in the first set of theories of relationship, that is systems theory. Please note this word environment, because that is what we are going to see in the next slide. There is an environment of relationship between the organization and its stakeholders, its target public, and who are the members of this public, which are the different sections of this public, what constitutes this public, you'll see in the next slide. Yeah. Systems model of an organization and its environment. This is the organization. United PR Works is a PR consultant, or you can say the PR department of a big manufacturing organization, big marketing organization. So this blue is the organization, and this is the environment. See this arrow? The entire the circle in pink is the environment, and this environment comprises of all these members in this green circles. So they form the members or the constituents of the public, they form the environment of this organization. So this entire circle is the environment, consisting of media, the government, the financial institutions, lenders, etc. Of course, the customers and the neighbors who might be your friendly organizations or competitors or rivals or other industry peers. You have the public media, you have, of course, the government and the regulatory bodies regulating the business and the financial institutions. So all these form the environment. What we saw in the previous slide, please try to recall. There is this kind of relationship between organization and each one of the constituents of this environment. There is a relationship between the organization and the government. There is a relationship between the organization and the media. Similarly, relationship between the organization and the other members of the industry. Similarly, relationship between the customer and the organization and the banks. Please mute your audio. All of you mute your audio, otherwise I will have to mute. I am hearing some other sound. Okay, fine. So this is what constitutes the environment where the organization and the members of its public, members of its audience or stakeholders are there. And within this environment, we see a cause-effect relationship between the organization and different constituents or members of this environment. This is the basic premise of this systems theory. The organization and its public in a defined environment. So all there might be several other members also, for as the members in the environment. We have chosen only few representative members of this environment. Now, what is the contention of this theory? Applying systems theory to public relations. So first understand the systems theory. Systems theory means there is a system, a defined system. The organization, its members in a defined environment, and there is this relationship between the organization and the members of this system or the environment. Now, let's take this analogy to public relations. Let us try to relate this analogy to public relations. How do we go about this? See the next 2 points displayed on your screen. Systems theory is especially useful to public relations because it helps the practitioner manage the organization's relationship. So, see the system theory identifies and defines, please listen carefully, the systems theory identifies and defines the members of this environment of the organization. It tells what is your environment, which is your environment in which you are operating, who are the members of this environment, who are related to you. There might be others, we are not going to consider them, but we are going to consider. For example, the organization has taken a big loan from a bank. The bank is a member of your business environment. You are going to have a relationship with this bank so long as this loan account is there. Or you have got all your salary accounts in a bank. So long as those salary accounts of your employees are there in the bank, you have got a relationship with the bank. Similarly, the relationship between the organization and the customer need not be explained. The systems theory identifies, see, these are your past customers, these are your present customers, these are your potential customers. You have to have a relationship with them, or you have been having relationship with them. How to strengthen, how to continue, how to manage, the theory will draw your attention. Similarly, you have the media, you are exposed. You are an organization in this business environment. You are exposed always, your actions, your decisions, your policies, your programs, your products, your services are exposed to the public, which is captured by the media. So you have got a relationship with the media. You keep sending out the messages, you keep sending out the advertisements, you keep sending out the press releases. They keep bringing the feedback of the customers to you through various channels, etc. Similarly, you have which one we have in that slide? Another any other member? The neighbors are competitors. You have a relationship with the competitors. You might not be dining together with them, but you always have a kind of relationship with your neighbors. You are always following the actions and decisions, programs, policies of your competitors, and you are going to redesign or customize your actions based on the actions of your customers. You are watching their actions. You are seeing whether they are announcing a 5% discount. I have to announce 6%. That means for announcing 6% discount, there is a cost. That is 5% discount by your competitor or your rival. So that is the cost, and this is the effect. You announcing 6%. So you have this kind of relationship with your neighbor. That is what this theory first identifies. It identifies and defines who are the members of the environment who are related to you, who are connected to you. It points out, see, these are the people whom you have to manage. These are the people, these are the sections of the public, sections of your environment whom you have to address, whom you have to keep in touch with, whom you have to have a dialogue, right? Whom you have to have relationship. You cannot snap. You cannot say, I don't have any relationship with the government. You cannot say, right? From getting the provisional registration certificate till your tax, GST, your labor laws, your whatever, income tax, and whatever, you have had some relationship with the government. You cannot say, I am very powerful. I don't have anything to do with the government. You cannot say. So long as we are doing in this environment, we are doing the business in this environment. So systems theory is especially useful to public relations because it helps you, it helps the practitioner, it helps the PR manager. See, these are the people with whom you have to have the relationship, right? These are the members of the public with whom you have to have relationships. So that is where the public relations, the two terms come. It identifies, it defines, it explains, it points out, it draws your attention to the related members of your environment. This theory emphasizes interdependence between an organization and its internal and external environment. We are talking about the external environment. You have seen in the previous slide the constituents or the members of the external environment. Besides this, there is what is called an internal environment, that is within an organization. Within an organization, you have the employees, you have the supervisors, you have the managers, you have the board of directors, you have the consultants, you have the different members of your internal environment. So this theory says there is a continuous, ongoing relationship between the members of the internal environment, members of the internal environment. The organization needs to understand the degree of this relationship, the nature of this relationship, and the cause and effect nature of this relationship more specifically. If the organization does this, the, the members of the environment are likely to behave like this. Or conversely, if the members of the environment, internal or external, behave in this way, you have to take this action. For example, your employees, the members of the internal organization, they strike work for a pay rise. They strike the work for a pay rise. Then you cannot sit quiet. Either you will have to quell that strike, or you will have to what is that, yield to their demands. Either you have to do something. You cannot keep quiet. You cannot just ignore. So there is a cause and effect. Your decision to raise the pay by 3% is the effect of this cause. That is employees' demand, employees striking demand. Similarly, your marketing manager reports that customers are not buying. The sales have come down by 10%. Sales have come down by 20%. Whereas your rival has been taking away my customers. This is this is the action or behavior of another segment of your environment, that is customers. Now you cannot keep quiet as an organization. You have to do something. What you will do? Probably you will also reduce the price. You will also increase the discount. You will also add some freebies, additional values, so that you are going to try to build back the customers who are leaving your organization or migrating to your competitors. So there is, for every action of the organization and the segments of the environment, there is this cause and effect relationship. So as a public relations practitioner, I should understand who are the members of my environment, with whom my organization or my client's organization has got a relationship, and what is the nature of this relationship, what causes which effect, or which effect, which result is caused by which premise, which decision, which action. I should know this, and accordingly, I have to advise the management, advise my client to take this action, to take this decision, so that this cause and relationship will be a win-win situation, will be effective, will be helpful both to the organization as well as this one. When the PR manager brings this message to you, sir, the employees of your branch in, say, in Delhi or in Hyderabad are striking the work, and this is their demand. This is the reason, and you have to take appropriate action. You cannot keep quiet, or you cannot ignore this. It may grow into a big nationwide campaign spreading to other branches of our organization, thereby defeating our intentions. Then you are going to take an action. So a PR manager being able to understand the nature and the degree of this relationship should be in a position to advise the talent appropriately. So see this point here, the interdependence. This theory emphasizes, this theory specifically tells that the organization and its internal and external environment are interdependent. They are not independent of each other. They are not mutually exclusive. They depend. Customers depend on the organization. Organization depend on the customers. Similarly, organization depend on the government. Government depends on the organization. There is this interdependent relationship. There is this cause and effect relationship between the organization and the members or the segments forming its environment. Each organization might be having its own defined environment. The environment of a education institution is different. Environment of a hospital is different. Environment of a manufacturing industry is different. Environment of a transport company is different. They have their own clearly identified, defined members with whom they have to have continuous relationship. So that is what this systems theory says. So why this word systems, you might be wondering. System here means the environment, a well-defined environment with the organization at the center and other members filling up this environment, making up this environment. So this is a systematic thing. This is not ad hoc. It's not arbitrary. You cannot expect a college, an engineering college, JNMC can never expect to have medical college students as members. It is so well defined that engineering students, MBA students, these are our members. So we need to have this relationship. That's why this is called systems theory, and this is how this theory is being applied or relevant to public relations. So we are able to follow this. See the next slide here on your monitor. Closed and open systems. Of course, continuing the systems theory. What are these closed systems? This system focuses on the history of the organization and makes decisions based on past experience. Whereas open system focuses on input from external public and organizations, external environment. So this is settled that there is organization and surrounding this organization there is environment. But how do you relate as an organization? How do you relate with your environment? One is a closed system. I am not going to track the current trends, the current requirements, current status, etc. I have got the history to back up. I know I have been in an organization in this environment for the last 10 years, last 20 years. I know I have been doing business in Shimoga for the last 50 years. I know the mentality, I know the attitude, I know the behavior of my customers. I continue to do this. This is closed system. You are mainly focusing on your past experience, on the history, on the historical data or inputs or the idea. On that basis, you are navigating your business, you are navigating your relationship, your present relationship with your members of the environment. I know how the government departments behave. I know several times in the past. So I continue to do this. Right? I know how the customers want, what the customers want, or what is their behavior. I will continue. I need not look into their day-to-day changing things because I have got 50 years, 30 years, 20 years experience in doing business in this industry, in this place, with this product, with this set of customers. So you are closed. You focus on the history, you focus on the past experience, and you go on making your decisions based on the past experience. This we call the closed system. You have closed your eyes to the present. It might be good or bad, you know. Whereas second system is open system. You continue to engage with the members of the public even today. You might have been doing business for the last several years, last several decades, with the same product, same location, same customers, etc., etc. But you are always open to the new trends developing in the environment. You are always responsive to the new developments emerging in the environment. You continue to try to locate these new developments, the changes. For example, long back you have as a hotel, assume that as a hotel. I have been supplying, I have been from Udupi and I know the taste of people, I know what to supply, what the people want for their lunch or for their etc. But no, and I might be doing, this is one kind of hotel. Whereas another hotel, I am trying to attract the young generation. They don't want to have the same old menu, they want pizza. Probably the old hotel might be supplying its coffee like the good old days. Now we have coffee day. We have a coffee day. Just to have, see, serve a cup of coffee, they have put up such big establishments on highways, investing lakhs and crores of people. This is an open system. There also the hotel and its customers. Here also a hotel or a catering business and its customers. There you have close your eyes to the present day development in your environment. You are trying to continue to have the same relationships that might or might not work. Right? Why I'm saying might or might not work. Please remember, suddenly the new generation of consumers had shifted to supermarkets, malls, big bazaars. Now with COVID, with everything shut down, what they are doing? Where are they buying the rations? By their neighborhood kirana shop. They are going back to this old. So just because new things have come up, it doesn't mean that the old should give space for them. Not necessary. Businesses can continue to do their business with their old ways. Still possible, but in an open system, which is more welcome and a growth-oriented, future-looking, forward-looking system, the organization focuses on the input from the external environment and reacts accordingly, responds accordingly, right? Behaves accordingly. Similarly, the consumers, they will also look into this. So they just blindly go. I have been going to Meenakshi Bhavan for the last 40 years. I will go, not necessary. I find that Royal Orchid is good. You simply go there. This is open system on both sides, both on the sides of the organization as well as on the sides of the members of the body. Both are open to changes in the environment and they are going to change their behavior, change their action accordingly. The organization changing its action based on the changes in the environment. Similarly, the members of the public changing their actions based on the changes in the organization, changes in its policies, changes in its products, changes in its service quality, changes in its ambience, premises. They may respond. Some people would like to go back to that good old Udupi hotel, but you would like to go to Domino's Pizza in Shivapanaika market, isn't it? So you also may change your relationship with the public. So systems theory addresses two systems, that is closed where organization and or the members of the public continue their relationship based on their past experience behavior. Whereas in an open system, both the organization and the members of its environment continue their relationship based on the inputs emerging, inputs coming. These inputs may change from day to day. These messages may change from day to day. You need not remain loyal, either organization to its customers or customers to its organization. So this is the kind of a very volatile, dynamic relationship. That is what this open system part of the system theory tells. So as public relations practitioner, I need to understand what type of relationship my client is having with the members of the public, or what type of relationship my organization is having with the members of the environment. That is closed, my PR campaign will be different. If it is open, my PR campaign will be different. For example, you are seeing some jewelry business campaigns or programs. What they are saying, Ratnaya Chetty says it is 130 years of our service. And that might help really. That might really help. Whereas Joy Lucas brings whom? Tamanna Bhatia or Kareena Kapoor to attract young people. So both will work. It is not that depending purely on the past or the history would vitiate the relationship, would bring down the degree of relationship. Not necessary. Not necessary. It may still work. Just take the example of some of the jewelry houses. They are saying way back from 130 years we have been adorning the women of India. They say. So suddenly you will say, wow, such a rich legacy is there. So his products must be good, his services must be good. But many young people may not like this. They might suddenly see Kajol being adorned by Joy Lucas jewelry and suddenly they might be able to relate. So they might go to Joy Lucas rather than Krishna Institute. Both are possible. So it is not that one is good over the other, one is better than the other, not necessarily. These are the ways in which an organization would like to have this relationship with the member. If you are able to notice this, it is. Okay. Do you have the time? How much time you have got? Who is tracking the time?
8
Chaitra?
minutes. 8 minutes remaining.
8 minutes. Yeah, let me go to the second theory then. Situational theory. Situation you know. Different situation. Probably. Something to do with this. Two benefits, straight away we are talking about the benefits of this theory. This theory, is it visible? Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This theory helps the practitioner predict when groups will become active or remain apathetic. Situation. This theory identifies and defines these situations, different situations. What are the situations an organization is interested in? The situations when the members or the groups or the segments of the public are active. That is one situation. And how should I behave? How should I conduct my business in this situation? Active means actively participating, actively supporting, actively buying, actively interacting, anything being active. Another is when they remain apathetic. Apathetic means indifferent. Whatever you do, they don't respond. Whatever you do, they don't respond. See, many students are like this. Is it not? Some are very active, some are very apathetic. Let the college give online class or offline class, whether it takes morning class or afternoon class, they just don't care. We don't attend, we don't log in. So this theory helps the PR practitioner when the members of the environment are likely to be active, likely to take notice of my campaign, likely to receive the message of my campaign. In which situation they are going to be like this. There might be different situation in one's life, in the life of a customer, in the life of whatever. Sometimes they may listen to your message. They may take notice of your message. Sometimes your message may become a waste. They might not notice it at all. They might be indifferent at all. For example, you have been representing the government several times. Government may turn a deaf ear to you. It might not react to you at all. It might not reduce the GST at all. The finance minister might say, I will take a look into this in my next budget, 2021 budget. This year it is not possible. They may say. The student community might be have been representing to the government to reduce the fees of professional courses. Government might say, or the college might say, no, this is not possible. We'll look into this next year. There might be two diagonally opposite situations in which the organization finds itself. The situations in the environment we are talking about. Some situations might be very active, very supportive, very responsive to the organization. And there could be diagonally opposite situations where the members of the environment, members of the public might not be active, might not take notice of your campaign, your message, your offerings, or might be indifferent. They might not just care, right? They might overlook or neglect. So there could be two situations. So situational theory identifies and defines the two possible situations. Both are of interest to the organization. Both matter to the organization. When the situation is very helpful, when the situation is right, when the situation is very receptive or responsive, what message I should carry. And when the situation is so inactive, so indifferent, so unresponsive, what type of campaign I should take? When people are not responding, what should I do? When people are responding, supporting, expecting me to do, expecting for my products and services, what should I do? So the organization's intent should be to make the best out of these two situations. The situational theory of public relations identifies and defines and communicates to the management these are the situations prevailing in the environment. Either this situation or this situation. Or this situation here, this situation in Delhi, where you are also you are doing your business. Helps the practitioner create communication strategies or specific. So, by knowing the situations prevailing, whether it is active, responsive, receptive, or inactive, non-responsive, or non-receptive, what type of communication you have to carry. The situation is very, very responsive, very, very fertile, very, very advantageous to you. What you should do? The PR practitioner will advise the organization with respect to your sales, with respect to your marketing, with respect to your proposals, etc. And if the situation is not that good, not responsive, you just cannot throw up your hands as nothing can be done. Even there also, sometimes the bad situations might really help in looking back, in the changing. So situational theory helps the organization to customize or to tailor make or design appropriate communications, messages to be carried to the members of the public. So as a practitioner, you should be aware of this theory or its impact or the significance of this theory. So you should keep on scanning the environment. As a PR man, you should PR woman, with due respect to you need to continuously scan the environment, identify the situation, define the situation as to whether it is good or bad or helpful or not helpful, advantageous or not advantageous, and you should advise your management, sir, this is the situation, we need to carry this message. Or, sir, this is the situation, we need to carry this message. So I am stopping at this. Hope you are able to follow this session. Ultimately, 9 were there, 2 less. Who have ran out of this class?
Pooja sir.
Pooja again. Pooja's name comes again and again. She is very much there. See, even though she appears to be very hungry and is about to fall down at any moment, she is still sticking to her chair. She has not gone through. Is it not? Anyway, good, right? Thank you.
She's too
Thanks for
tired, sir.
attending. Yeah. Take care. Have your lunch. Have a good day. Thank you. I will end the
Thank you,
meeting.
sir.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.